Hey there, this is LaQuita with QuitaBugHandmaids.com. Thank you so much for joining me today for another Stampin' Up! Tutorial. So a couple of weeks ago, I shared with you my Healing Hugs Club QuitaBug free project kit, and just about all of you requested, those of you that commented, requested a video tutorial on how I made the tissue box holder that is one of the projects in the kit. So I am doing a video today for you guys on how to create this box. And I have to thank my team member and friend, Juanita Zavala, for the measurements for this project. So thank you so much, Juanita. I really love these tissue boxes. So let's go ahead and jump right in. And I am using the Healing Hugs stamp set for the stamping on the little tissue box. So to get started here, I am bringing in my Simply Scored scoring board. And I have got, let me get my pieces out of the way here. I have cut down a piece of Grapefruit Grove cardstock, and I have cut this cardstock at 6.5 inches by 7.5 inches. So I'm going to put the long side, the 7.5 inch side, at the top of my scoring tool, and I'm going to score at 1.5 inches, 2.5 inches. Then I'm going to go down, sorry, I have a really weird setup right now. I can hardly see what I'm doing. Then I'm going down to 4 3/4 inches. And then 5 3/4 inches. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm going to rotate and put the 6.5 side across the top, so the short side across the top, and I'm going to score at 1 inch and 5.5 inches. Okay, so now I can come in with my bone folder and just give a nice crease on all of these score lines. And I do have all of the measurements that I just shared with you for scoring over on today's blog post. So all of the measurements for this whole project will be printed over there, so you can find them over there, and I've linked to that blog post in the video description below. So now that we've folded on all of our score lines, you've got 2 large panels, one on each end here of our box. So one of the panels is 1 3/4 inches wide, and one is 1.5 inches wide. So depending on which side you have your panels on, like for me, the larger side's on the left. So it just depends how you have your box rotated right now. But you want to put the 1.5 inch side facing you, and we're gonna go ahead and start cutting. So make sure the smaller panel is facing you, the 1.5 inch side. We're gonna bring in our scissors, and we are going to cut up this score line all the way up to the second score line. We're going to snip off the rectangle, and then we are going to notch in on the square. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing on the left side. So again, cut up. Now we're going to come over here to the side, and we are going to snip up these 2 score lines. And then we're going to notch in on both sides of this little square. And then rotate around and do the same thing on the other side. All right, so that is all of your cutting. So this is what you should have once you've done that. I want to go ahead and add on our designer paper panels. So these are from the Nature's Poem Designer Series paper. So I've got 3 pieces here. So this is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. This is 1 1/4 by 4 1/4, and this is 1.5 by 4 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and get these little panels added on. So this little thin one's going to go right there above the lid. my designer paper on there. So now we can start adhering the box together. So on these two flaps right here, I'm going to add some adhesive. So this is to the outside of these two flaps. And I'm going to adhere those two little flaps right inside of this side flap. So I'm just going to fold it up, line up those ends, and adhere it right inside. There we go. So now this is what we have. So then these two flaps right here, we're going to put adhesive on the inside of these. And then these will wrap around the side of the box. Just make sure you line everything up really well. Do that again. I don't think I got it straight. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. All right, so now we can put our tissue in. So I've got one little tissue left. This one's another cute one. So this one says believe in yourself. And look, it coordinates. Isn't that nice? I'm gonna slip that right inside. And then you fold these two little flaps over, and then our lid folds over just like that. And then we will seal this in just a minute. So I've got a stitched oval here that I've die cut using the stitched shape framelits. And this is a piece of Whisper white cardstock. I've got my mint macaron ink, and I'm gonna take one of the little wildflowers in that stamp set, stamp it off in the mint macaron, and then just stamp it onto that oval. And in Grapefruit Grove, I'm going to stamp my sentiment, sending healing vibes, sending you healing vibes. So we've got that sentiment added on, and I've just put a little bit of fast fuse on the back. And I am just going to put this on top of a Blackberry Bliss scalloped oval that I die cut using the layering oval framelit dies. Now to close up our little box so that we can add the sentiment, I'm going to use these 3/8 inch thin clear fasteners. I ordered these from Amazon. These are actually smaller than the ones that I was using in the first video when I showed you guys this box. So I like this size a little bit better. So we're going to see how it works on here. So I've got my little strips here. So I'm going to start by taking off this little fastener, and I'm going to add it to the center of the lid. So I guess right about there should be good. Then I'll take the other piece and just put it on top so that they're nice and lined up. And then you just want to fold over and press. And there you go. You've got a nice little fastener that closes up your tissue box. Isn't that fun? So there you go. And just practice with it a little bit too, just to make sure it's working well. And so now we can add our sentiment on. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of adhesive across the top because I don't want to glue the sentiment onto the bottom and completely seal the box up. So we'll just put that right about there, press that down. And there we go. That's how you make this cute little tissue box. Pretty quick and easy to create these actually. I really, really like it. And like I said, if you don't like these little flaps, you could take these off, but I like that it adds some stability. I had mentioned that in the previous video, but I think it adds stability to the lid so that the lid doesn't just squish down onto the tissues and then the box, you know, lose its shape. So I like those little flaps there. So there it is. And let me bring in the original, and there we go. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and remember you can find all of the measurements over on today's coordinating blog post linked below the video in the description. And I've also got all of the supplies that I used over there. You can purchase those in my online store, and the supplies are listed in the video description with clickable links. So thanks so much, you guys. I'll be back soon with another tutorial. Bye now.